Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. I'm Karen Mashures, and today our show is all about quick and easy and absolutely delicious. The first thing that we're going to make today is a mint chocolate pie. I'm going to fool you because it's not chocolate, but it is mint. Next, we'll be making a mozzarella tomato salad with a shrimp cocktail for appetizer and shrimp scampi with linguini for our main course. Let's get started. I've got 24 chocolate sandwich cream cookies, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to crush them up. You can do it by hand or you can do it like I am. I'm going to put it right here in my food processor and give it a good pulse. All right, looks like we're done. If anything's not completely crushed, you can crush it with your hands. Let me grab my bowl. And remember, easy to get things out if you put your finger to hold the blade. A little bit more. Now, this is the time for hands, and we're going to crush. All of the white cream sort of disappears once you crush them all up. And I've got some melted butter that I'm going to put right in with these crumbs, and this is our crust. So this is the chocolate part. All right, put that melted butter right in and mix it all around. And I like to use my hands because I've got to use my hands to put the pie crust into the pie plate. And once we get it in the pie plate, it's got to sit in the freezer for about 30 minutes. Chills and sets. Okay. We can take our pie plate, put it just in the center, and start pressing towards the outer edges. Let's get all this good stuff. This is a 9-inch pie plate. If you wanted, you could put it in a springform pan. And I like to get the crust up the sides, and it doesn't have to be even. All right, just make sure your edges are pressed down to the side of the pie plate. And what we're going to do is put this in the refrigerator, freezer, for 30 minutes. All right, that's going to be in the freezer for 30 minutes, and we're going to go straight to our mozzarella salad. This is something that I absolutely love, summer tomatoes. And this is a really quick and easy salad. I've got my tomatoes, and I've got different sizes, but on this I like to use a large tomato. So we're going to just take the end off just to clean this up a little bit. And we're going to make thick slices. I'm going to say about 1/4 of an inch, and we're going to slice this tomato all the way through. Look how beautiful it is. Summer tomatoes, tomato sandwiches, absolutely love it all. Okay, let's get me a plate. I want to show you how easy and quick this is to do. 1 tomato slice, and you can use the fresh mozzarella, and I have already put some spices and a little bit of basil on top. You can put that on the side, or you can put it right over the top when you're finished. But I have some regular, and this is block, it's soft, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 slices, put right on the top of your tomato. I'm going to just drizzle a touch of olive oil on the top, just a little tiny bit. And I'm going to put another slice of tomato. And I like it, so I'm making another whole slice, but I'm only going to put one piece of cheese on the top. I'm going to put my tomato on the top. I'm going to put a little bit of salt, just a little bit of kosher salt. Drizzle with a little bit of olive oil, let it run down the sides. And then I'm going to use balsamic vinegar. You can use a balsamic vinegar glaze, you can use a regular balsamic. And I like to put a lot on top. I like to get it all over the plate so it runs down. We're going to take a little bit of basil because it goes wonderfully with it. Just take a couple of leaves off, throw them on, pop one on the top. And I like a lot of basil too, so let's put some on the bottom. Quick and easy summer salad, ready to go. All right, let's go see if our pie shell is done. Looks like this pie crust is ready for its filling. Let me grab a bowl real quick. And I have got some marshmallow cream. 7-ounce jar is what you need. And I'm gonna grab some Pam, and I'm going to spray my spoon. It'll make that come out just a little bit easier. Give it a little wipe, because we want every bit of this marshmallow cream. All right, let me grab a little spoon here, get this off, because I want it all to go in. We're going to take 1/4 of a cup of milk. Now with this recipe, if you don't want to use milk, you can have another option, and that's to use creme de menthe. And in the recipe, you'll see that if you use the creme de menthe, you don't use the mint flavoring, and you don't use the green food coloring. But we're going to gradually add this. Make sure it's mixed up real well. That's the last little bit of the milk. Let's make sure it goes right into that cream. All right, this nice and smooth and glossy looking. You can save a little bit of time if you'd like to use an electric mixer. Just remember that when it comes to your whipped cream, it really needs to be folded in. So we're going to take a little bit. This has been in the fridge, but I've let it thaw for about 10 minutes. Want it to get right in. We're going to put some more in, and it's about 2 cups. And I'm eyeballing, so I think we've got about 2 cups right there. And before it's completely folded, I'm going to take and add about 2 drops of green food coloring. And I'm going to add about 2 drops of peppermint flavoring. This is peppermint extract. And I love these new little bottles. I think they are so cool. Get that all fixed and mixed. Turning a beautiful green, beautiful mint color, and the smell is terrific. All right. We're going to put this back in the freezer once everything is mixed in and let it set for about an hour before we serve it. And I'm just making sure that all my lumps and bumps are out. All right, it looks like it's ready to pour right straight into the pie shell. We're just going to make sure we scrape down the sides, get it in. And I'm ready to take a bite right now. It smells so good. Okay, everything's all fixed, ready to go back in the freezer. Once we get this done, I'm going to garnish it after it comes out of the freezer. I'm going to use some fresh raspberries and some fresh mint and some homemade whipped cream. So I'm going to put this in the freezer and we'll be back in a few moments after a word from our sponsors.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Food Lion, your neighborhood grocery store. Swing by your local Food Lion today to find all the ingredients needed to make the meal featured on this week's show.
Welcome back. It's time to make our shrimp cocktail. And I've got my water boiling. I've got my shrimp right here. And I like to boil my water first because I only want my shrimp to cook about 1 minute. As soon as it's really pink, I'm taking it out of the water. So I'm going to throw it in right now and get my colander, take a peek at it, bring it back to a boil. That didn't take too long. Nice pink and done. Let's put them in this colander real fast. Grab all those shrimp. The one thing about shrimp is you definitely don't want to overcook them because that's when they get tough. All right, all done. I'm going to bring this over here and I'm just going to turn some cold water on. I want to try to stop the cooking process as quickly as I can. And I'm going to let that drain out and I'm going to put ice right over the top. And I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes while I make my cocktail sauce. Okay, cocktail sauce. Love homemade. It's better than anything that you can buy in a bottle. And I'm going to use about 2 cups of ketchup. And I'm going to eyeball it. And this makes enough for a few shrimp cocktails. But I love it, so I'm going to make it my way. All right, I use 3 heaping teaspoons, which could be considered 3 tablespoons, of prepared horseradish. Just pop that right in. Love the taste of Worcestershire and what it does to cocktail sauce, so I'm generous with Worcestershire. I'm going to throw just a little bit of salt in there. And I'm going to cut a lemon, give it a good squeeze, and to me, the more lemon, the better. Okay, and all we have to do is mix that up. You can make it as hot as you like it. You can add some hot sauce if you like to increase the heat. But I like to make it so anyone coming into the house can eat it. If they want to add a little bit more horseradish, then it's right for them. All right, let's make a shrimp cocktail. I've got a martini glass. Love martinis. And I like to put my sauce right in the bottom. And I'm generous with it. We're going to take our shrimp and get some of the ice off. And I'm going to arrange my shrimp right on the edge of the cocktail glass. And usually 4 to 6 shrimp is a good serving for a party if you're having some people over for dinner. And let's make a little cut here. I'm going to cut a piece of lemon, put a little slit down the middle, right on the glass, and let me get some parsley here. Let's dress it up just a little bit. Great looking shrimp cocktail. It's really tasty too. Now, I'm going to clean this up and we're going to go straight into our scampi and linguini.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Charlotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17 or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
All right, I've started making my shrimp scampi. I've got 6 cloves of garlic, big ones, because I love garlic. If you like it, you use this much too. This is basically what you need, and we're going to just do a rough chop. Want it nice and ready to go here. All right, got that done. We're going to go to put our linguini in. I've got about a pound of linguini. I've got my water boiling and I've salted it. I'm going to put my linguini in, and I'm going to add just a little extra salt. You have to flavor your pasta while it's cooking. Give it a little stir, and we're going to let that go for about 7 to 9 minutes. Want it al dente, which means that it's still a little tiny bit crisp. Okay, let's leave that right there. We're going to start with our oil. I've got a tablespoon of oil, and I'm going to put it in my pan, and I'm going to let it start to heat up. Then we're going to cook half of our shrimp. We're going to cook it about 1.5 minutes on each side till it turns pink. So we're just about ready. Let's roll that oil around. All right, oil's hot and we're going to put in the shrimp. Don't want it to be touching. Just going to drop it in. We're going to let it go for about 1.5 minutes on each side. By the time I get them in, I'll be ready to start turning. All right, already starting to turn the shrimp. Got my heat on low. And I have put a plate in my microwave a little bit earlier to warm it up, because when I take my shrimp out of this pan, I want to keep them warm. So I'm going to grab my plate. And we're going to start taking the shrimp out. It's a great, easy meal. Doesn't take long at all, especially if you have someone else clean and devein your shrimp. All right, I'm going to set that right here to keep those nice and warm. I'm going to take another tablespoon of my olive oil, drizzle it in the pan, and just swizzle it around a little bit. And we're going to put the rest of our shrimp in. You can also do this in an electric skillet. Works great. All right, shrimp all in. Give it just a second and we'll make our turn. Pasta's cooking away. I'm going to give it a little tiny test. Okay. Not quite done yet. I do like to use linguini with this meal because it holds up so well with the sauce, because I am going to use a butter sauce. Lots of garlic. I'm going to turn these shrimp over. And the last of our shrimp are coming out. I'm going to take my pan off the heat for just a moment because I want the oil to cool down just a little bit. All right, goes right there because it's time to put in my butter. This is the basis for the sauce. You've got some of those great shrimp flavors in the oil. And we just want to let that butter melt. And I want to cook this on a real cool flame, so I'm going to turn the heat down even more than it is. All right, butter's beginning to melt. All those good drippings are coming off the bottom of the pan. And it's time to put in my garlic. I don't want my garlic to burn, just want it to turn a little golden. We're going to start adding the rest of our oil. We had 3 tablespoons total of olive oil. Just add that last tablespoon in. We're going to stir this around, let it go for about 3 minutes, just until that garlic is done. All right, while that's cooking, I'm going to take one last test of my pasta. I don't want it to be overdone. Nice and hot. About 2 more minutes. Oh, that garlic smells great. Now we're going to take just a hair of kosher salt. Put just a little kosher salt in. I'm adding red pepper flakes. I'm going to add a ½ cup of dry white wine. Okay. All right. Now it's time for the shrimp to go back in. My pasta will be ready in just a moment. I want that shrimp to absorb all those flavors. Got one more thing to put in, some lemon juice and some lemon zest. Just about the zest of 1 lemon equals just about 2 tablespoons. So just make sure you get it all. And we're going to take this lemon, just cut it in half. Watch for seeds, and if you do it upside down, you won't get seeds in your dish. Good squeeze. And it's almost ready for the pasta. All right, off it comes. And put my colander down in my sink. And watch for the steam when you do this. All right, I am not going to rinse it off. I'm going to let it stay exactly like it is. And it's going to go directly in my pan with my shrimp. And we're going to start tossing. It's going to cook for about another minute or two. And while this is cooking, I'm going to chop up some parsley. Let's get a nice handful. If you take your parsley and just squeeze it all together, turn it into itself, you can get it chopped beautifully. And this is good rough chop because we're going to sprinkle it on the top of our dish. And you want to make sure that you serve this as soon as you take it out of the pan. Always like some nice crusty bread with it too. I'm going to move things around just a bit so I can get my platter over here. This is when you also can add a little bit more seasoning if you wish. A little more salt, a little more pepper. I always put just a touch of pepper on the top before I take it out of my pan. All right. There they are. Let's turn that off. Pour it right into a serving dish. Look at all those wonderful shrimp. Let's sprinkle it with a little parsley. And it's ready to go. We'll have another word from our sponsors and I'll have my whole meal prepared for us. I'll be back in a minute.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Food Lion, your neighborhood grocery store. Swing by your local Food Lion today to find all the ingredients needed to make the meal featured on this week's show.
Thanks for joining us at the Coastal Kitchen. We've got another wonderful meal all ready to eat. Shrimp scampi linguini, tomato mozzarella salad, our beautiful shrimp cocktail, and I've got a pie still to get out of the freezer. I hope you'll join us again at the Coastal Kitchen, and you can find us on Facebook. Just search for the Coastal Kitchen. Have a great day.